Dr. Khannenje, on this particular development, people were saying this is just a posturing of Vladimir Putin. He will not really, launch any nuclear weapon, as it were. But right now we can see the drills are on, sending shivers, bugbears and shivers down the line. So should we be worried about these particular drills? The latest development. We know right now also Chernobyl has been captured by, of course, the Russian forces, as it were. And we know the history of Chernobyl nuclear power plant at the end of the day, briefly.
Yeah, well, of course, Chernobyl was captured. It is a dysfunctional thing. It's not like it's actually something that is active. Of course, we remember, way back in '86, where it had I think the world's, worst nuclear accident. Now, much of it is actually, posturing by Russia, but it's not exactly posturing as it is in terms of trying to send a message to the West that for the first time you've seen countries such as Germany actually arm forces out there, that are in conflict, going against its traditional policy that has lasted for a very long time. But then increasingly, for the first time, you see NATO is actually supplied around 70 jets, the Su-25s and MiG-29 to Ukraine. And right now, I think Ukraine pilots are picking them up, to fly them to Kyiv. Now, that's a dangerous escalation its own. Now, while I'm not sure to the extent to which Putin expected this kind of response, but I'm sure he did expect response. Now, I just want to put something clear. Putin is doing what Putin has said he will do, and that is not allowing a hostile country on its door. Much the same case like Washington could not have allowed the Soviet Union to position its missiles in Cuba because it changes the strategic balance of forces and it tends to increase insecurity of the other country. It's a security dilemma. Now, and to our Western friends, I do not think anyone in their right mind actually thinks that perhaps Moscow is going to be comfortable with actually creating a hostile in Ukraine. And what we're doing, and especially those of us who believe in the free world of freedom and democracy, is we are pushing Ukraine in a place that's going to lose either way, forcing them to choose sides. You see, in history, you can choose friends, but you can't choose your neighbors. And so perhaps the way forward, and especially in the negotiations that are coming, it's a degree in which, or a possibility that Ukraine can at least agree to being neutral in a way, but also be, for Moscow to guarantee its sovereignty. So it does not make it a playing field. But in the absence of such concessions, and if Moscow continues to actually feel insecure, it's going to be very difficult. Now, I don't see this as a Putin problem. I see this as any potential leader who is actually going to be in Russia. That is how they're going to look at the world, especially with regard to their sphere of influence. Unless someone is not a student of international relations, we don't get into this moralism. We don't even moralize international relations. We have to be practical. And I know we've all gotten into this bandwagon of sanctimonious righteousness, especially that comes from certain quarters, when precedence has been set for much of the last 2-3 decades. There's been an increasing unilateralism by the big powers in the world and has actually paved way for what we are seeing here, the flagrant violation of sovereignty and territorial integrity of countries.